If you've ever struggled with either committing to a niche or finding your perfect niche, then in today's video, I'm going to dispel all of those myths right here for you. I'm going to lay out the exact framework for understanding how to find your niche, how to commit to it, and the exact framework for how to put them, both pieces of this together. Because to find a niche and to find your perfect niche, there are two exact parts. So if you're here and live, then comment the word live. If you're watching this anywhere else, just comment the word replay, which is love to make sure that the tech is all here and working. Now, a couple years back, this was probably in 2009, 2010, I came across a guy named Derek Halpern, and he had a perfect analogy that stuck with me until this day. And it's about how most people go about finding their niche. When you think about striking oil, in order to strike oil, you have to dig into the earth 100 feet in order to be able to strike oil. Finding a niche is just like that. When you dig 100 feet, you find your oil, you find your gold, so to say. You find your people, the market that you can exist in and become known for. Most people, and this might be you, they go around digging 100 one-foot holes. And so they go about kind of doing a lot and being productive, but never having a product to show for it, never actually having a niche that they are known for, never being the go-to person in their industry, never being able to, find that right market. So they go about testing 100 different things and never find that one way. So what I want to challenge you today from this video is to dig one 100-foot hole instead of going around digging 100 one-foot holes. Now let's talk about what happens when you get this right. Thing number one that happens is that finding clients actually becomes easy because you become the go-to person in the market. You become the person people come to for speaking opportunities, to be interviewed on podcasts. And when people think about the problem that they have, you're the person that comes to mind for not only who they can go to for some help, but also who they want to hire and how they want to invest in themselves by signing up for your products, for your services, and for your courses. The second thing that happens is that clients start to find you. I mentioned already that you finding clients becomes easier, but imagine that, you're going to be doing this lead generation and these sales with people that you go out and find through your marketing and through your efforts, but also they start to find you. And when that happens, when they start finding you, they sign up quicker, they sign up with less objections, they get on sales calls with you or in the DM with you, asking about what the investment is, asking if you can help them. And when you are at that stage in your coaching business, things become easy and things become fun. Now, there are a couple mistakes that happen when it comes to finding your online niche. And I only know this, number one, from struggling with this for years in my online business, but also from helping hundreds of coaches, course creators, freelancers, service providers to find their own niche as well. Many of them who've been doing this for years with some success off and on, not consistent success, to actually drill down and find their 100-foot hole. Now, the kind of big mistakes and frustrations that I normally see with this is that when you do find a niche or you start to craft your niche, you kind of feel like they don't have money. And so what ends up happening for most coaches when they feel like their niche doesn't have money is, one, they're aiming too low. And so you start to do things for free. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going out thinking that no one has money for your services, and so you start to attract them. So that's kind of the first frustration and mistake that we need to overcome. Mistake number two is the mindset that every niche is taken. Now, I'll just be straight up with you because you're one of my people if you're watching this. There's nothing new under the sun. There's 100 experts in any niche you're going to go into and 100 more that are trying to go into it right at this very second. So you can't let the fact that every niche is taken ever stop you from taking action. And you're never going to get it right the first time. You got to keep drilling and keep drilling. And the further you drill down through time and through experience and through serving and getting underneath your people, that's what's going to make your niche yours and you become the standout person. And this will keep you, this mindset will keep you from hesitating. It'll actually get you started and going to make it through to finding that 100-foot hole. Otherwise, you're going to keep hesitating. You're never going to start, you're never going to commit, and you're never going to make progress. So let's do a little bit of drawing here together, and let's talk about what the two components are for finding your niche. There's a lot of misinformation and fake news about what a niche actually is. So let's talk about this here today. I went and grabbed a sheet out of the Get Clients program that we use. This is one part of it for finding your niche. Probably the most simple one. There's a couple other worksheets that go with that. So if you want those or to talk about what this might look like in your business, just comment niche or worksheet. Yeah, let's use worksheet just for this one, and I'll get a copy of this and the supporting worksheets over to you. There are two parts to your online niche. Okay, the first part is all about who. This is about kind of the person or the people that you help. It's the who. There's a couple other words you might have heard, and this is probably the most basic part of this conversation around your niche. By the way, if you haven't found your niche yet, will you just comment me while you're watching this? I want for this to be engaging, and I don't want for you just to watch this and move on. I need for you to be drawing this out, and let's have a conversation here in the comments about what your niche is and putting this together. Let's talk about who. And if you have an insight, just share it here for everybody to get as well. Who is the people or person that you help? It is also known commonly as your market. It's also, for some people, they call it an avatar. It's the people that you help. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The next part is where most people kind of get this confused, and you have to have both of these. Niche, awesome. For some reason, it's not showing me who's commenting here in the, it just says Facebook user here in my comments, but thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Let's get this dialed in together, okay? So, part number one is all about who. Part number two is all about the what. And this is where, like I said, most people get this wrong. The what part over here is all about what problems you help them to solve. Okay? So what are they frustrated with? Frustrations is also a part of this. Struggles. Roadblocks. So we have to have both of these lined out. We have to have the who, the person that you help, and the what that you help them with. So when we think about kind of what I do, using me as an example, let's use orange over here. Who I help coaches. You'll see me use the word coaches pretty much in all my marketing. This also means course creators. This is also service providers, freelancers, and those sort of people, consultants. I just lead with the word coaches so I can make myself easily findable by the top of my market. Most coaches have gone through the stages of freelancer and service provider and course creator, and usually as coaches, this is where they make the most amount of their money. And I also want to attract people who have money. This is a little secret and a little hint here to working your niche as well. You want to aim for the people that do have money as an educated guess as you go. What problems that I help them with? Well, one of the biggest struggles, I use the word struggles, or struggling to get new clients consistently. Couple other examples just from my world. A gentleman named Chris Anderson who's been through many of my programs. He helps podcasters. That's his who. Let's use blue. That's his who. He helps podcasters. And what does he help them to do? Well, he helps them to get more listens, but what he also helps them to do is to get past the 10K a month mark. They're struggling to get past the 10K a month mark. Another student in my programs, Henry. Henry helps pastors who can't seem to get enough people to show up every Sunday to service. When you have these two things, when you have your who and you have your what problems that you solve, it makes it abundantly more clear in your own mind's eye for finding those people and for knowing exactly what it is that you help them to solve. And this middle part right here is what comes to life, this overlap right here. This spot, let's use a little thinner marker here. This spot, that's your niche. So what's been your biggest takeaway here so far as we've been chatting about this? That middle spot, that overlap, that's your niche. This is how you become the known person, the go-to person in your space. This is how when your market thinks about the problems that they have, they're gonna feel like you're already in their mind. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned, I'm really just someone who stands on the shoulders of many great marketers. One of my first marketing events I ever went to, one of the first marketing podcasts I ever listened to was called I Love Marketing. It's Dean Jackson and Joe Polish. And Dean Jackson has this mentality that stuck with me. Even when I wasn't doing I was growing a t-shirt and a clothing business at the time when I heard this, and I realized I was in the wrong business. If you want to be at the top of your market, you got to solve deep problems. The deeper problem that you solve, the more you can get paid. Selling shirts, that's not a big problem. That's a problem that's just been solved for hundreds of years. You can go to the supermarket, you can go anywhere and buy a shirt for $3 to $10. So I wanted to solve deeper problems, and this is what really started to get me down this gear of helping people with deeper problems. You want to help people with problems that they're going to sleep worried about. This is called pillow talk. These are problems that they're keeping them up at night, that they're talking with their significant other about, that they're praying to God they find a solution about. And when you can get in the heads of your people, of your market, of your who, and solve deep problems, frustration, struggles, and roadblocks over here that keep them up at night, this is when you've struck oil. My clients are worried about getting new clients consistently. They're worried about continuing to up their revenue. They're worried about slowing down, and they want to continue on the growth path that they are on. I didn't get here overnight. I didn't get here by saying I want to help coaches who struggle get clients consistently. This took me years. This took me years of failing, of learning and growing. And in your journey, it might be the same. My purpose is to help you to shorten that amount of time and to allow for you to just remove the roadblocks so you can find your niche easily and go out and help those people. Now, if you want help with this, because let's be honest, finding your niche is just one small part of the delivery and the program part of your online business model. There's 3 parts. There's your program, there's how you attract in leads, it's how you convert those leads to sales. And when you nail those 3 pieces, now you have a successful online business that's growing, and you have clients starting to find you and close you. If you want some help with this and implementing this and just shortcutting that journey, cutting all the time that it usually takes most people to get there, I'll be honest, I got a killer group of coaches who are working on this day in and day out, week in and week out. And so if you want help getting focused on getting 3 to 5 new clients in immediately, and then month after month, and then we shorten that down to week after week, then I'd love to help you. So I've got a new group kicking off this month. And so if you have time for 3 to 5 new clients, which equates to about $3,500 to $7,000 in revenue on the kind of medium conservative end, I'd love to have you in. So just comment the word details wherever you're watching this, or hit the button below if you're watching this on my website. And that'll take you over to Messenger, where we can have a quick chat and talk about kind of where you're at, where you're up to, what might be keeping you back from getting to where you want to be, and what's possible for you over the next 30, 60, 90 days, and over the next year, and who you stand to help along the way. In order to be successful as an online coach, it all starts with drilling and finding your niche. Don't go around drilling 100 1-foot holes. Drill one 100-foot hole to strike oil. Do that, follow the framework from here today, and you'll start attracting in your perfect clients into your online business.